Good evening, everybody. It's Monday, November the 1st. It's still, I guess it's still fall, but it's the day after Halloween, so it feels a little bit Christmassy. I am coming here to you tonight with some mystery stamping. So I went and posted on my Facebook page yesterday this lovely little sketch. Ignore my printing because apparently, or my printer, because apparently I'm running out of ink somewhere, and so it's looking a little pink instead of a little gray, but you know, this is the way things go, right? Okay, I'm just going to go ahead. I've got my laptop sitting here in front of me, and I just want to make it bigger so that I can see comments, so that if people are going ahead and adding comments on here about things that I could add onto my card tonight, I would love to see it. Okay, so the first thing I have is, as I say, we did mystery stamping this week. We're doing it every second Monday at 7:30 in the evening. So 2 weeks ago, we gave you a bunch of measurements and told you what you could use. Tonight, we have just given you the actual card sketch itself. So this one has got, like, it's just got a base, and then it's got one layer, and it's got two layers, and yes, I will fix my toner on my printer. I'm not quite sure what the deal is. And then it's got a circle in the center and then a white piece in here. So the thing with card sketches is that they're really just designed to give you a starting place, right? I will quite often use them if I'm feeling a little bit stuck, or if I just want to make something that's relatively easy or relatively basic, I'll start with a sketch. So, Amy put her cards up on Thursday night, and actually I have not looked at them yet, and I feel very, very bad. I will go look at Amy's cards afterwards, and I'll probably pull them and put them in the comments of this post as well, so you can see what Amy put together. But I have got a couple that are finished and ready to show you, and then I have off screen more stuff than you can possibly imagine that I can use to make another card. And the one that I make is going to involve a deer. I don't know what's going to be on with the deer, but it's going to involve a deer because I've actually not used my deer set. I haven't used Peaceful Deer yet. So we're going to use it. Okay, so the first card I'm just going to quickly show you, and I'm going to put the sketch just over here so you can see it. First one I'm going to show you is this one here. So this one here follows the sketch pretty closely, right? It's got that white card base to it. It's got that bumblebee cardstock to it that I just went and embossed around the edge with one of the Stitch with Whimsy dies. It's got that piece in the center here. I've used a piece of Designer Series paper, and then for that circle I just went and stamped something on a circle, and then the top one I freely admit I went and punched out with a retired 2-inch punch. Hi Amy, it's good to see you. And then the one directly below, the bumblebee below, it was cut with a die that is really, really similar to that size, so they actually mat quite well. But this is not a die, this is a retired 2-inch punch. And then I added a little bit of the evening evergreen ribbon just to kind of give it that, this is where you get that line coming across your card. Okay, so like I said, it kind of conforms quite well to the sketch, but conform is really the wrong word because you can use this as a starting point for whatever you want it to be. Okay, so the second card that I have finished ready to go before I show you my incredible stash of things beside me is this one here. So this one has got a soft succulent base to it. I've used some of the designer paper that matches that. Although I will tell you this though, this large piece of designer paper has got soft succulent and evening evergreen and garden green in it. You can see that right in the corner. So when I cut this piece down for this card, I deliberately took a piece that was going to match what I had. Okay, then I went and stamped a couple of the pine cones, die cut them, put them on there. This one is just glued flat. This one is popped up. Did the Merry Christmas in white, and this white has been embossed as well. Okay, so what I have in front of me now, aside from this lovely diagram, because you can see those other two cards, they fit quite well in terms of like the overall design. Really the key thing is that you want to have a focal point up here and you want to have something coming across the card. Doesn't have to be a sentiment, can be ribbon, does not matter. All right, so I'm going to take this, I'm going to put this over to the side, just over here. All right, I'm going to kind of sort of keep it, just want to see if I can kind of keep it in the corner up here. I can. All right, so I know tonight I want to use this Designer Series paper. And of course I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head to save my life. It is the Tidings of Christmas 6x6 Designer Series paper from the annual catalog. So I know that I want to use one of these sheets of paper as probably either this big layer or this smaller one just inside. Before I came on live, I was messing around with it a little bit because I have just big 8.5 by 5.5 sheets of cardstock in the colors that match this paper. And I have little bits and pieces over here as well. Oh, I want to move those cards before I do something bad to them. All right. So in terms of like overall design, I'm going to say no to this one right off the bat because it almost, for me, it almost feels a little too fall-like as opposed to being pure Christmas. So I'm going to say no to him. I'm tossing him over here right now. The combination I was playing with involved this paper here, but not the backside. And actually I was thinking as I was pulling the paper out, that's not bad. Or you could put it like that too. Like that would work. That would work well. You could put it against that that evening evergreen, or you can put it against the soft succulent as well. Though I think I like it better with that. So I mean that's a possibility, but I'm going to put those aside for a second. I could put this as a background, but I think it's going to be kind of busy for this kind of a card, right? Because we're looking for, where'd my deer go? Here's my deer. Like a deer, even if he's got some kind of a border behind him, he's going to be it's a pretty busy background. So no to that one. However, the back side of that paper is this one. And so when I was playing before, I was actually kind of looking at it like this. So I was thinking if I had it as white and then I had it as the red, the cherry cobbler just up here, and then if I had this as like a piece, and I have a smaller piece, well, at least I did, kicking around here. Where'd it go? There it is. This kind of gave me a better idea. So I was kind of thinking maybe that with like the deer on there. I don't know. What do you guys think? That might work. Okay. So let me tell me if you think that one looks okay. Because if it does, I'm just gonna, he's in the running, I think. I also had, so I've got this one. This is Sahara Sand. It's not crumb cake in this pack. The back side of it is this. So same thing. I really, really love this paper, but I think it's a little bit too busy for what I'm trying to accomplish. This one, however, with the snowflakes, that's quite pretty as well. Same thing with this one. Once again, I think it's pretty similar to that other pattern, the one that had that was in the Sahara Sand and the soft succulent. Now the stripes on the back though, that could work as well. And then the last two that are in this pack are the this one here, which is like a pure soft succulent. I don't mind this because it's like a tone on tone. Oh, you like the little trees, Amy? Okay. Well, that's good to know. All right, we'll go back to that. And then this one here. And so same thing, really love this paper. I think it might be a little bit too big in terms of pattern. Like I think I'm looking for something that's either more monochromatic like that or something a little bit smaller because it's really not that big of a space. Okay, so I'm going to move these back over here. Okay, so Amy says she likes, where'd it go? Wait, okay, so that one with the, no, not that one. That one with the tree. Where'd the trees go? Oh, the trees are on the back side of that. Okay, wait a second. I have too much paper sitting here. Because I have my whole pack sitting here. Where'd I put it? The trees on the back. Wait. Oh, that's why. Here it is. Okay, so if we go, what if we went like that? What if we went like that with this? And then the deer, because the deer does not have to stay in gold. I punched him in gold because I was originally thinking I would use it in gold and add some of that lovely cherry cobbler ribbon with the gold in it. So, I mean, we could do that. That would be pretty. Let me take the other stuff, the other colors out from underneath. Whoops. We could do this. Okay. What do you think? Anyone? Okay. No, that might work. That might work. We could put the deer back on something in behind. So that would be kind of pretty. Or do we put this on, instead of on white, do we put it on, oh, that, oh, I like that. I like that. Maybe it's just me. What do you guys think? I think I like that. Okay, I think this might be card number 1. Now, when I say card number 1, I have all the bits and pieces that are like all cut and it all matches. And so I can see myself making more than one just because I have everything. You like that one, Heather? I think this is great. So do you like, I think with the gold? I think the gold. Okay, so I'm going to go, let me just put some of this other paper over here. Because like I said, I have a lot of it sitting here right now. All right, I'm just going to move these. Okay, so we're going to move the diagram over there just for a second. I'm going to fold this guy in half. Okay. Okay, Ruth, if you have anything that you think that we should do, chime in because you are just as much of an expert on this as Amy and I. All right, so we have the, yes, definitely the evening evergreen. Okay, and then I'm going to cut this one down so that it is It's 5¼ inches by 4. I remember that. Okay, so let's go 4 this way, and then 5¼ the other way. 5¼ Okay. All right, so now we have the evening evergreen, and we've got the 5¼ by 4-inch piece of Tidings of Christmas. And then for this one, the way I cut it, it's 3 inches across. It's 3 inches across by 4¼ inches down. Okay, 3 by 4¼ All right. Okay, here we go. All right. Okay, so now we have this. Okay, do you guys like that? And if so, what color? Where'd my deer go? I lost my deer. Where'd my deer go? No. Do I need to punch another deer? I lost my deer. Okay, that's a problem. I need my deer. Where did my deer go? Oh, here he is. I don't know where he went, but okay. So the deer is like that now. And I do think that the deer needs something behind him. So do we go, and I can do a circle. I'll just grab the circle punch. Do we do that? Him behind the, hold on a second. Ugh. Okay. Like I said, I'm not gonna start messing around with dies. I will go with the punch instead. Okay, so, okay, so we have soft succulent. Do we go with the soft succulent with the deer behind, or do we go with, whoops. Do we go with evening evergreen? Okay, hold on. So we got this one. So now we have evening evergreen. So we have evening evergreen instead of soft succulent. And let's also try, because they're just circles. They're just circles. Okay. Or do we go with the cherry cobbler? Okay. Okay, so what do you ladies think? Do we go with the red with the cherry cobbler, or do we go with the evening evergreen? I think Heather says yes to the evening evergreen and no to the cherry cobbler. Where's the ribbon? Here's the ribbon. And then the ribbon can sit across there like that. Although I might just, well, I don't have a sentiment or a phrase or anything on there. So let us put this over here. I'm just moving my circle punch out of the way. So Ruth, you like the green, the dark green? I think that's a good combination, actually. And then for the actual sentiment, I mean, I could emboss that. I'm not going to, just because I think sometimes it's good to show how to make some of these cards without adding everything, right? So we're just going to go with the circle, and then we're going to leave it just as that. So I do have the Peaceful Deer stamp set here, and I'm still going to go with the punched one as opposed to stamping one out and punching it. I think I want to make sure that it's not too wide, because ultimately what would be nice, and I don't think I'm going to be able to do it, is I'd like to be able to punch something and put it over here and then have the knot come over here. But I think the ribbon's too wide. Oh, maybe not. I think the ribbon's too wide. Okay. You know what? There's only one way to find out. And I'll use the evening evergreen for that. So I have, yeah, because I have 1/2 inch. Oh, you know, maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll put it so that it's like that, and then that sits over top. Okay. I think that may be the way to go. All right, so I've got my paper. This is a 1/2 inch strip of paper. I have tons and tons and tons and tons of these around here. I'm going to get it's the best time of the year one. And when I'm cutting paper, I never ever get rid of these 1/2 inch strips for any color, because they are so useful for every color block. I keep my basket of blocks right beside my table so that I'm not looking for them, and I'm not searching. Well, I guess searching would be the better word. I'm not searching. They're in the way, actually. I trip over them, which means I'm never going to lose them. So let's go with, another way to do this would be to emboss this in gold, which I'm also not going to do today. Okay, so That is evening evergreen. Okay, so we've got, so let's go, it's the best time of the year. Okay, that's kind of cute. So we've got, it's the best time of the year. And then if I kind of put it like that, I'm just trying to get it to lay flat. It doesn't want to lay flat. Here we go. If I kind of get it like that, and then, oh, I could just put it over like that. Oh, that'd be cute. Okay, so I'm going to snip off the ends. Now the key here that I want is I want these two ends to be the same length, because I am going to go ahead and use one of the longer banner punches. But in order to do that easily, so that you're not trying to guess, you just want these two to be approximately the same length when you're starting. There's all kinds of tutorials about oh, this is how you use it so you can get the best edge. You know what? Just as long as these are the same length on each side, you're fine. I think I'm going to go with something that's not too fancy. I'm just going to go with the true pick a banner. Okay. So I'm going to pop it in. This is a lovely, wonderful punch. Oh my gosh, this is a little bit too big. Hold on. Where's my paper cutter? It's slightly bigger than 1/2 inch, so it's not going to sit in the punch quite properly, quite right, which means that it won't punch properly. So let me just see if I can trim off this one teeny tiny. This is going to be tough, but that's okay. That's okay. There we go. Can I get it? There. Okay, awesome. Fantastic. That's great. Okay, good. Move that over there. Where did I put the punch? Where did I put the punch? Oh, there it is. Told you I have a lot of stuff here. Okay, so this punch is fantastic for punching out pieces that are 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch, or 1 inch wide, because you can just slide that paper right into the channel and it will then just sit there perfectly. Okay, so there we go. I have my cute little sentiment there, and then I'll pop it up, but I'll have the ribbon in behind it. All right, what do you think? I think that's going to be okay. I think that's going to be okay. All right, so let's glue down this piece first of all, so that it's on the card. Amy, that was a really good suggestion to put the paper with the trees on the center. I like that idea a lot. Okay, so now I've got that paper with the trees. I'm just going to put it here in the center. Oh, come on. I'm taking the adhesive off on my fingers now. All right. Okay, so let's just put that back up there. Okay, so now we have, it's just going to sit right in here. Okay. And then I'm ultimately going to, oh, for heaven's sakes. You know what? I did this afternoon too. I've kept gluing. So that one card, the very first one, the one that has the stars, I'll go back and grab it in a second. So when this is why you shouldn't work too quickly. When I put this card together this afternoon, I glued this piece down without putting the ribbon on. So I peeled it off because I don't like to stick things like stick until I have things the way I want them to. So I glue it down. I realized I don't have the ribbon, so I peel it back off really carefully, put the ribbon on, glue the whole thing down again. And after I glue it down, I tried to open my card, and my card opened backwards because it was like this, but it was sitting face up. So I had to peel this whole piece back off and turn it over so I could make the card. Okay, so I think I'm going to, I had said that I was actually just going to wrap this around. I'm not going to do like a fancy schmancy knot or anything, so that's okay. All right. Okay, so I have the trees. Yeah, Amy, I have to agree with you. I think the trees and the deer just go together so well. Okay, so I'm going to put this up there. I want to just see, before I glue it, where I want it to be, because this is going to get popped up, I think a little bit lower, and that's the circle. Okay, so right there. I'm going to wrap it around because I know there's adhesive on the back. Oh, maybe there's not. There's not. Okay. Just when I think I've got everything sorted out in my poor little brain. There's one side, and make sure there's some on the other. Everything's sticking together because I wanted to glue that thing down and fold it back up. Okay. Because you know what? We all do this every once in a while. Okay. All right, so let's get this on here now. Oh, that's a little bit better, having the ribbon there. Just make sure he's straight. Okay, so he's on there now. All right. Okay, so there we go. Perfect. I'm now going to, where did that circle go? So I have my evening evergreen circle. I'm going to pop it up off the card, and I'm going to pop the deer off as well. So dimensionals, where did you go? Like I said, you're sitting on my table here somewhere. I'm not kidding when I say I have a lot of stuff here. That's probably why. Just there they are. They're underneath everything. Okay, so we're going to put some on the back of the circle. And we're going to stick the circle down. Now, when we get back, like once I finish sticking everything on, I'm just going to quickly go and pull that card sketch up again so you can have a look at it and see exactly how close or how far away my design ended up being. You can decide which you think it is. Okay, so I'm going to put a large dimensional right in the middle of them here, but I'm going to go and cut off a couple of the edges here just to make it a little bit smaller. I don't have any mini dimensionals on the table. They're over in the corner. I don't want to go grab them. Okay, so we've got those guys. So now we're going to put the deer on. He's just going to sit there, just kind of, oh, he's cute. He is cute. He's adorable. Look at that. Goes so nicely with that. And then I'm just going to put on a couple of dimensionals on the back that will then go across the ribbon. Okay, and I think we're good to go. I will, of course, put a piece of white paper on the inside. Okay, so it's just going to sit like that. Oh, and because I have those notches, I just tried to line up the inside of the notch with the edge of the ribbon. Okay, there we go. All right. So if we go back and look at our diagram again, our card sketch, it's pretty close. Because the sketch, once again, has got your card base, and then it's got that layer underneath. We used that cherry cobbler designer paper. And then it has this layer here in the center. So this is the one where I used the paper with the trees. Same paper pack, of course. The piece that comes across is the sentiment, and then we added the ribbon just underneath, just to kind of give it some sheen. Because don't forget, whenever you put projects together, you always want to make sure if you have one metallic element, you have two metallic elements, right? So if you've got metallic paper, you need either ribbon with something in there, or you need some rhinestones. You need to have something. You don't want just one. Okay, so having that ribbon there works with the deer, and vice versa. Like, you would still need to have something. You know, if you were to make this, if you wanted to kind of step it up a little bit, you could certainly go ahead and emboss this with one of your embossing folders, or you could change the shape. It doesn't have to be a circle, right? And, you know, the key thing, though, is that this is a focal point. It doesn't have to be a circle. It just has to be a focal point, okay? So I'll go back and pull the pine cone card in just a second to show you what I mean. Okay. And then I just popped it all up to make it look pretty, just so that it's, you know, it's got some lift to it. As I say, there's no white piece on the inside. I will add a piece of white afterwards. I have a stack. I actually cut a pack of white paper, basic white paper, and all of it's been cut down to 4 inches by 5 1/4, so that whenever I'm ready to go and put those pieces on the inside, I just have to grab one off the stack. And if you're making cards and you want a white piece off the front, same thing. You're just going to go and grab it off the stack. Okay, so really, this is actually a very, very easy sketch to follow. You can do it with anything you have in your collection. So just to go back, this is the one that I created that was, first of all, I forgot to put the ribbon on like this one. Then it went on upside down and I had to yank it apart. And then the other one is this one here. So it is the Christmas card that's got the soft, succulent, oh, I forgot to show you the inside, the soft, succulent base to it. And then I went and embossed this with the new wood embossing folder, whose name I can't remember off the top of my head. And then I have used some designer series paper here. You've got the pine cones that are stamped in early espresso as well as crumb cake. And then I just went and punched this out after I embossed it in white. Okay. On the inside, I did put another pine cone, and then I just put the sentiment. Comes from the same stamp set. So what I will do is I will post all 3 of these cards this week, right, along with the card sketch on my blog and here on Facebook and on Instagram and everything as well, so that you can see them. Because as I say, all the same sketch, all slightly different in terms of cards. Okay, they've all got something different going on with them. But the sketch itself, you know, it's got that focal point, it's got that horizontal line for all of them. 2 of these will go up on the blog this week. The third one is going to end up being what I like to call a newsletter card. So I've mentioned before that I am part of a tutorial group, and Amy's part of it as well, where we're able to go and submit 1 card every month into the group. And then we have all kinds of different card resources that we can pull when we want to go ahead and put things in our newsletters, as well as sometimes on our blog, sometimes on our social media. It helps at this time of year when we're all super busy and running around. So this card will definitely go on the blog. One of these two will become a newsletter card. So you can tell me which one you want to become a newsletter card and which one needs to go on the blog. So I will quickly post, actually, no, I'm not going to post the pictures because I don't want the pictures out there until we know. Okay, if you like the card with the stars, just add a comment for star. If you like the card with the pine cone as a newsletter card, just put pine cone. One of those two cards will then become like an exclusive newsletter card so that you will get the full instructions on how to make it, along with all the dimensions and everything else. So like I say, I want you to let me know in the comments which one you'd like as a newsletter card. Do you want the stars or do you want the pine cones? Okay. All right. So if anybody has any questions, any comments, if you want to see something different for mystery stamping next time, or do you want us to use another sketch? Do you want us to give you like a list of, paper and ingredients again? Go ahead and add those in the comments, because then Amy and I will know which one that we can kind of head down that path towards. In 2 weeks, when you stop by on Monday night to come and mystery stamp with us, then you will have had some input into what we make. All right, so thank you so much for joining me tonight. As I say, vote. I don't have a poll, but vote for these two, one of those two. This one will definitely be online, probably tomorrow. All right, thanks so much for joining me tonight. You guys all have a lovely, lovely night.